Welcome back to Attack on Titan anime review. This is gonna now the previous videos I've done for this series related to the actual anime have been called parts. Starting with this video, it's gonna be called episode, and this is episode number 10. This one I'm reviewing the 4 episodes that have aired so far for season 3 of Attack on Titan, the anime. Yep, the past 3 episodes. And they're called Smoke Signal, Pain, Own Story, and Trust. Yep, and these particular episodes cover 8 chapters of the manga. Yeah, they cover chapters 51 58, which cover basically volumes 13 and 14 of the trade series. And these chapter titles are, if I can get to them, they are the following. When I get the thing loaded up here. They are Squad Levi, even though the episode kind of picks up where the last episode left off. Crystal Lens. Damn it. Smoke Signal, Launch of the Counterattack, Pain, Actors, Kenny the Ripper, and Gunshot. Yep. Now, basically, in this first episode, even though Kenny, I think, showed up in chapter 57, this first episode is Kenny's debut. Yeah, it is one badass of an entrance, where he appears, believe it or not, in the credits of episode 1. Yeah, this is by far the first time, I think, since they did this a couple times in the series so far, where they end an episode and they have it where, like, a lot of these chapters tend to pretty much be this way. I'm sorry for the glare behind me, but that's just the way it is with this mirror. Hang on, let me fix this. Oh, what is up with that glare? Really weird. Okay, yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. That's actually much better. Now I don't have much of a glare. There's a glare behind me, like right here next to me, but not very much. Yeah. So with these particular episodes, these following things happen. We have it where, like, the episode now. There was a leak that was released like several months ago of the first episode, where you see Squad Levi just cleaning up a cabin. Yeah, that was a leak, and that's simply how the episode begins. The trailer, when you first see Kenny in the trailer that they released for this particular season, that's actually from the credit sequence of this very episode. The Funimation probably will have the credits happen after this particular sequence happened. But yeah, I'm watching this thing subbed because I was so hyped for this particular season. I just could not wait to get this season started. Yep. So I decided not to wait for the first episode, which actually airs Saturday. I'm going to be watching this both sub and dub, because I still plan on watching the dub. Even though I just watched things subbed, but I don't mind watching the same episode over again, because this series is so damn good. And it'd be kind of a shame for me to actually not watch the series dubbed, because this show, by far, for a lot of dubs, this show is considered to be one of the best dubs ever. Yep. When it comes to English dubs, anyways. Yep. Of course, there's some gruesome moments, like there's a torture scene in one of the episodes where they torture a guy by removing his fingernails. This is actually straight from the manga. This is no original stuff for the anime. Yeah, in the manga, this is how they torture people, by removing their fingernails. I have heard this is a torture that some foreign countries do this. Yeah, but the good thing about the US, we don't use torture for interrogation, because physical torture has proved to be completely useless. But in the case of this anime, apparently it's acceptable. Even though physical torture is unacceptable in real life, mental torture is acceptable. But physical torture is completely unacceptable, and any point when from what I've heard, if physical torture is used to get a confession out of somebody, the case is thrown out of court. That's how it is in real life, but this is fiction. They probably allowed to get away with it, and plus, the court system is very weird. Of course, it's medieval style living. That's basically how they are. We also get a chance to meet Reed Ross himself, Historia Ross's father, and he's not much different than he is in the manga. Though, from what I've heard about the guy is one of the biggest dicks. The guy is a terrible person. The guy cares only about himself. That's basically the way he is. Oh, and by the way, Eren, when he's captured, yeah, after like the first episode, he spends a lot of time pretty much being tied up. Yeah, he spends a lot of time being tied up, and I should point out, though, they even show the flashback from the manga of how she got her alias, Krista Lenz, where it was given to her by her father in order to save her life. Because, you see, her mother, who was also Reed Ross's lover, because they're never married because, excuse me, she was referred to as Ross's illegitimate daughter, and so in order to save her life, because he did really care for her, he did love her, so he gave her an alias to protect her life and basically give her a normal living. From what I can tell for the flashbacks, they're pretty much exactly how they picked in the manga. And there's one particular scene, I am so happy they put this scene in these 4 episodes. The sit-down conversation between Erwin and Praxis. I am so happy they put this particular thing in, because this is probably by far, for this arc, one of the most interesting scenes in the entire series. Yeah, it's just these 2 guys just chatting. But of course they plan a bloodless coup. They don't say bloodless coup in the anime. They say that in the manga. My guess is they must have removed that line at some point. They may restore it in the dub, I don't know, but they cut the line for some reason. They refer to simply, now they refer to it in the manga as a bloodless coup. That's what they refer to as the name, anyways. Here they describe it simply, without requiring military action, just overthrow the government without killing anybody. Now, I think it was Praxis who said that's a bloodless coup. Can this be pulled off? In the anime, he doesn't say that at all, which is a little weird, the fact he doesn't say that. Yeah, and of course they showed like the flashback of the reasoning why Erwin does the stuff he does, why he's so insistent to get this thing through, because his father was murdered for, get this, for questioning the government over inaccuracies to their history, inaccuracies and contradictions. Because the government, because it's later revealed in the manga, that the government, in this particular arc, it's revealed the government has been lying to the public for years. Though this is kind of similar to how the U.S. government basically handles things. They lie about certain things a lot. Not everything, mind you, just certain things. At least U.S. history has not been altered. Nope. But yeah, so he was basically killed for questioning their published books. For saying they're wrong, so they offed him off. Though it wasn't the King Hoarders, oh no, it's 4 really chubby snobs. These 4 snobs who basically all they care about is basically keeping their wealth and power, which is exactly how they pick in the manga. So I'm kind of glad they kept this in, and they're all well. There's one basically is kind of sympathetic to Erwin, but the rest of these guys, they're all complete dicks. Yes, they're terrible people. I'm not calling them douchebags, but I've heard them as dicks. They're terrible people. Yeah, and King Fritz, by the way, in case you're wondering, does King Fritz ever say a line in the manga? No, he never does. He basically is he's just a puppet, a figurehead for these 4 guys who are the real power behind the government in the series. Yeah. And of course, they see Erwin as a threat to their power. They want their money. Yeah, the way that the writer of the series picked these guys, they're the evilest people. And this arc has been built up for quite a while, actually. They built this up, not since the beginning per se. They built it for a little while, but the whole thing about getting to Eren's house, Yeah, that's done in the following arc. That's building up since the series started. This particular arc is building for a little while, basically loose around the scene. This kind of started with the whole ending of what happened after Annie and after the female Titan, aka Annie, and Aaron fought. Yeah, which they reference that in these 4 episodes, and the Suhouse district is still in ruins. I'm like, haven't they started reconstruction already? I would have thought that after they captured Annie, that they would have started reconstruction by now, but no, they haven't. Which I'm like, okay, I'm sure when the story gets started, you'll probably order reconstruction right away for the Suhouse district. Yeah, so they have not. Now I get the reason. I get the one thing I love about mangas is that they're good at maintaining their own internal continuity, and I love the fact they reference other stuff. And apparently, what happened in the previous arc only happened just the day prior. So over the course of these the chapters in the manga, and of course the way they present in the anime, it looks like this happens over the course of 2 to 3 days. Yes. And they referred to what happened with the whole thing between the battle between Eren and between the Attack Titan and the Armor Titan happening just the other day. Which I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I like that. And apparently the whole battle with Annie it only took place not that long before that. Yeah, that's what the interesting got praised for this series is the fact that it's sort of like time progresses a little bit slow in the series, despite the fact the manga itself has been going on for like 9 years. I would say by the time of the final arc, I would say maybe about 3 months have passed by since they started the present day stuff. Yep. But let's see. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? Yeah, Levi, and let's talk about the awesomeness that is Kenny. Man, they refer to him as Kenny the Ripper. Like, really? So the way that they describe him in the anime, and it's kind of some of the in the manga, it's basically he's Jack the Ripper. Yeah, he uses a very similar knife that a lot of fictitious, fictionalized interpretations of Jack the Ripper is known for using this big, huge knife that he has used to kill. They used to kill those five prostitutes in 1889 London, basically Whitechapel. Yep. And this by far was quite interesting, and I even love the fact they even showed off the new 3D gear that the interior police use, which actually uses to kill people with. Yeah, they say this buckshot is actually useless against Titans, but not useless against people. Yes, and I should point out, though, the interior police, basically how depicted in the anime, is not much different how depicted in the manga, because at this point, a lot of them, not to say every single one of them, because the two they picked here actually were less people, but yeah, the people from the interior police are terrible people. They're crooked. They're basically doing whatever the heck they want. And they're by far the worst police force I have ever seen. Yeah. I mean, I would say the higher up people basically are corrupted, but not the lower tier ones. Not the ones basically are fresh recruits. They do have the character Marlowe in here. No, this is now. I even pointed out though during my review of Lost Girls, when I featured Annie prior to her going up to be the female Titan. This Marlowe is actually from that particular story. And this is not the same Marlowe who was killed during the Battle of Tross. No, this is a completely different character. And the girl he's with, believe it or not, that's actually Annie's roommate. Yep, that's Annie's roommate from that very story. Yeah, and by the way, this woman is really lazy. Yeah, this is why she's given a case of investigating a missing girl. She just passed off to Annie because she prefers to go party. Yeah. So there's that. Yeah, 4 really damn good episodes. And the end of this episode, I kind of predicted what's going to happen next episode, where I think it's Proxus or somebody works him comes in and say, oh, like the Solwall district wall has been breached, and the whole thing about rations not being fully controlled, especially with the last breach they had. Yeah, and that's what causes the whole downfall of this whole thing. Yeah, this is probably going to happen either in the next episode or the following, but I'm looking forward to basically how the anime depicts this particular scene for the manga. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, that's really it for this episode. As far as I can tell, I have about 3 more videos planned for today. Yeah, I have 2 more videos planned for this particular series, where next video I'm going to review the OVA that just came out just a few days ago. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that. And I'm also going to talk about the Attack on Titan Junior High series, a Comic Corner, and the newest chapter of the One Punch Man manga. That's like 4 more videos I basically am planning to do today. Yep. But until I see you on my next review, bye.